these are all e-readers. They all happen to be Kindles.
Well, see, what some people are finding that have this problem with the print jiggles is that since this has less contrast, they can see better on it.
Compared to a printed page?
Compared to that, for example.
Interesting. So when they read this, that's actually shimmering?
Yeah. Now, this isn't going to work for everybody because some people want, you know, like it light blue or they like it light green, but some people have a visual processing problem where when they go to read, especially when you're looking at white paper like this with black print, the print will shimmer. And this can vary from being just a little bit and it gives you eye strain, makes you tired, to being so bad that the person's going to be failing all their classes because they can't hardly read. And there's two things that can sometimes fix this problem. One is printing the homework on different pastel papers to reduce contrast. And some people have found Kindles have been really good.
So here we go into your book here. Now, one thing that you can do is change the type size.
That's right.
Is that something that's good for people?
Yes, that helps some people too. Some people like different fonts. Mm-hmm. But what I've talked to several people, and they say the thing they like on the Kindle is it's reduced contrast.
Yeah, because
so there's
gray.
less of a tendency for the print to shiver. Now, it's not going to work for everybody that has this problem.
Right.
I had one student used tan paper, another student used lavender paper. But reducing the contrast helps.
Now, one thing which happens, I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but about every 5 pages, you see that flash?
Yeah.
Do you think that would be irritating for some people?
Some people probably won't like that.
Yeah. And then this one, it does less, it sort of does a dissolve. I don't know if you can see the difference.
Some people might like that better.
It's sort of softer transition.
They might like that better. I think this flash on this one, that some people are not going to like that flash.
Right.
See, the thing is, these problems are extremely, extremely variable. Now, there's certain types of monitors that are terrible. Old-fashioned TVs, and the older type of flat panel where there's a fluorescent light inside the panel that's backlit, some of those are terrible.
Because they're flashing?
Well, because they can see the flicker. Now, I want to emphasize that not everybody with autism, dyslexia, or ADHD has this problem. Only some of them do. Mm. You know, for some people with dyslexia, the problem is phonological awareness, hearing the hard constant sounds. But for others labeled dyslexia, they're seeing the print shimmer. Another thing that can help is pale colored glasses or the Irwin glasses. Again, that doesn't work for everybody. So when someone tries to do a study on this with autism or dyslexia, they come up with no results because half the people don't have this problem. See, there's something wrong with the circuits back here in the back of the head that assemble the visual files. You've got shape, color, motion, and texture circuits. Something is wrong there. And nobody really knows how those work. Why this background stuff helps and the colored lenses help, I don't know why it works.
How about laptop computers?
Laptops are good.
Really?
Yeah, laptops and tablets.
Oh, so this is like the iPad over here.
The iPad would be good.
Huh.
In fact, I've been hearing very good things about the iPad on students that are nonverbal and typing on the iPad.
Let's see.
Because when they type on the iPad...
And see, you can make it so it's not so white. That's a
well, that's going to help people.
Yeah.
You see, and you could experiment with different colored backgrounds.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And that would help a lot of people.
Right.
Tablets and laptops do not flicker.
Interesting.
They're the best screens to use, or the Kindle screen.
Right, right. Now, one thing which a couple of these do, which is, I wonder if it would be useful. You can. So I'm going into your book here, and now I go to menu, and I've got a little speaker here, so I can turn on text to speech, and it'll
enter a certain room because he may be afraid that a fire alarm might go off or that the assembly microphone.
So it's synthetic speech. It's
but for
like
some
a
people,
for some
people that would be very helpful.
Yeah.
Oh yes, there are people that don't read that want audiobooks, and this enables them. May not be the most perfect audiobook, but enables them to get an audiobook on a book that's not available in an audiobook. For certain people, that's going to be very useful. The thing I want to emphasize is these different reading problems and sensory problems, they're highly variable. Mm. So something, like a certain background on an iPad works great for one person, and maybe this Kindle's going to work great for another person.
Yeah.
The thing that's really great is all these technologies are getting cheaper, and then as they get more and more common, 4 or 5 years from now, the old versions of this will be available really cheap, so that even low-income folks can use these things.
This is the cheapest one now. This is only $79.
Yeah.
So.
And for some people, the Kindle works really well, and And play this back. I want to hear that a little bit longer.
All right.
And I want to hear it where I'm not reading it at the
Okay.
same time. Let me just listen.
Might screech again. Even if it happened months and months ago, and even if it only happened one time, he may take action to avoid feeling that pain again. Sometimes sound sensitivity can be desensitized by recording the offending sound and allowing the child to initiate the sound at gradually increasing volume. Problems with sound sensitivity are very variable.
That's
A sound that
Pretty easy to understand.
Oh, it's fine. It
Yeah.
works fine. I mean, that's also going to be great for blind people.
Yeah.
Because that's going to enable them to get audiobooks on virtually any book. How does it handle a book that's got pictures and captions and what does it do
It
then?
would probably just read wherever it saw a word, it would read the word.
Well, it reads the words, but okay, let's say you've got this book here, there's no pictures. So let's say you have a page and there's a picture with a caption on the page.
Probably reads the caption and just skips
Well,
the picture.
but then it might read the caption in the middle of the other
that could be
page.
confusing.
Yeah, that would be confusing.
But the accessibility is good because it takes a while for an audiobook to be recorded. You have a professional actor or whatever, and about half of the books available to buy on the Kindle have got text-to-speech enabled, just so you can get a bestseller. And
so this is something, there's actually something in the Kindle program that enables this to work. This won't work on just any old book, it only works on Kindle.
That's right, yeah, like for the Nook is another computer.
They've got the same thing.
They don't have the text-to-speech. Kindle's the only one.
Well, I think the text-to-speech, I had a dyslexic student, and she learned everything auditory.
Yeah.
She would have loved this.
Yeah,
she would have absolutely loved it, and she had the really bad problem with the print jiggling on the page.
Yep.
She ended up using tan paper and a laptop, and her Irwin glasses, which were light brown, and they saved her. Oh, she would have loved this Kindle. We would have gotten all this stuff on the Kindle.
That's neat. And you know, the good thing too is it advances the page in coordination with the sound. So if you're trying to read along and listen, I don't know if that would be helpful for people or not. It might be better.
Well,
just
for
to
her,
listen
it
to
would be, for a lot of people, it's better to listen. See, I would rather read something than listen. But you see, that's where you have different kinds of minds. I don't have the visual problem. I can read just fine off the white paper with the black print. See, this is where problems are so variable. It's not one size fits all. And the problem you've got with diagnostic labels like autism, dyslexia, ADHD, non-specific learning problem or whatever, is that these problems with the sensory systems are variable. Some dyslexics are going to be helped by the, by these visual strategies, and others are not because some of them they don't hear very well and they'd rather read the stuff. And then you've got people with autism. Some are going to be helped by the colored paper and using the Kindle. Others are not. And you see, autism, dyslexia, ADHD are kind of umbrella terms. And then you've got all these mixtures of sensory problems in there, and they're different as night and day. But it's good to know that something like this is available.
Here's another cool thing you can do. This is the latest one, so it's a touch screen. So if I'm reading along and I don't know what the word screech means, I touch it, and it brings up. Oh wait a minute, I guess I have to turn off the speech to text.
Do you turn off the speech to text?
Okay, so now I'm going back into the book, and I want to know what screech means.
Okay.
So it
gives
pulls
you
up
dictionary.
something
Okay.
from the new. So that's a short version of the. And if you want the full definition, you touch that.
Well, that's going to be something that's going to be very helpful. That's helpful and it's handy, but it's not groundbreaking in terms of really helping people with learning. I think the things that are going to be really going to help people with learning, where you didn't have something easy to do before, is that this text to speech is going to be very, very helpful. You know, the less contrast, and then the other thing that's very helpful on the iPad is you have somebody who's nonverbal. You're trying to teach them to type.
Oh yeah, and you. So
okay, now just get the virtual keyboard up.
Get the keyboard up. And so if you, let's see, I'll just go into I'm going to create an email. Just do an email. All right. Okay.
Okay.
So,
see, now the thing is when you type on this.
Yeah.
Oh,
let's see. I think Okay, let's type down here a message. Now type a message. So if you.
Okay. Well, this back. Wait, I want it back.
Because I thought it.
The.
You know what I think is it's the iPhone Because if you've typed on an iPhone, when you touch the letter, you get an image of the letter that shows up. Is that what you were thinking of?
Well, yeah, you see it's right there.
Yeah.
Well, you see, the thing that somebody that's nonverbal needs, okay, if I'm typing on here, so okay, I typed the word the. Most people that are nonverbal, that have autism, have to look at the keyboard.
Yeah.
You can forget about touch typing. They're going to have to look. And what works for them is that they can look at the keyboard and see the print appear. In other words, this is close together.
Yeah.
Where if I'm on a laptop, you got the keyboard here and the screen here, you got to go like this.
Right.
And some of the people, a lot of the people that are nonverbal cannot do that. They cannot remember. So the reason why this works, first of all, it's a screen that doesn't flicker. But when you type on it, it's saying, you see the letter, okay, dog.
Right.
Okay, and when I type that, I can see that appear. And I can see it, I can see dog, and I can see the keyboard, all at the same time.
Exactly.
And that's really important for a lot of people that are nonverbal, where if I'm going like this on a laptop, that doesn't work.
I see.
You see, because they're going to have to look at the keyboard.
Yeah. So really, to fit the tools to the individual person, you'd have to, it'd almost be a case-by-case situation.
Well, that's right.
Where
But you see, the thing that's important is what tools have you got available. If you've got somebody who's nonverbal, you want to teach typing,
yeah.
I'm going to recommend they do it on an iPad or some other tablet, where when they type, the print is appearing right close to where the keyboard is.
Yeah.
That's what's important. Where this Kindle, that's going to help more with the people that have visual processing problems. You have people that where they just are an auditory learner, which is not me.
Because you're more pictures.
I'm told I'd rather read. I don't want to listen to audiobooks. I
Yeah.
want to read it. I can read it on a plain piece of ordinary paper. You see, this is where people are different. But I had a student that if she hadn't had her laptop and her tan paper and her special colored glasses, she would have not ever graduated from school.
Well, when I was thinking too about children, and I was curious how you learned to read.
I actually learned to read. We got a 5th grade level book. I was in 3rd grade and I was not reading. And Mother taught me how to sound out my words. Now, that worked for me. But I want to emphasize there's other kids on the autism spectrum where phonics is the worst possible thing you can do. And you're better off just having them memorize whole words and just learn it. See, this is where there's different learning styles. Phonics worked for me. I've heard about other kids where they forced phonics on them. It was terrible. It actually slowed down their reading.
Well, you're about my age, so I bet you know this book.
Oh, yes, definitely.
The Cat in the Hat.